The original version of this video was uploaded to Jason Verney's YouTube channel, where it and many other videos, podcasts, snippets and films can be found. That channel can be found at youtube.com/Jason Verney. This is the Not So Korean podcast. I am Jason Verney. As you probably know, and as we always say, we usually record this live in UK's Koreatown itself. That's an area in and around New Malden. Yes, that's the largest Koreatown and Korean community in Europe. But I must add a quick statement from me, Jay, before passing you over to myself, on the fly and on the move, somewhere else. Due to the nature of this episode, some segments, and in particular the sound quality, will differ slightly. Hopefully this won't affect your listening pleasure though. Enjoy! So, you may be listening to this particular episode further to a recent episode which might have been an interview with somebody. It may have been myself and Tim talking about something from maybe from the first series or from the second series or whatever of the Not So Korean podcast. And you might have this particular episode would have come up, and it's going to be no different, this new kind of episode, to other episodes you're still going to hear. But what I thought was best for this series to continue, which is going to continue as normal. Well, it's not as normal, otherwise I wouldn't be telling you this. But in between the episodes where we have the guests, the interviews, the sort of on the fly episodes where myself maybe is talking about where I am in Korea, or where I'm in the world that might relate to Korea, or my experiences in Korea, as well as forthcoming guests and perhaps reviews, film festivals and all kinds of stuff relating to Korea. In between those episodes, which I would say for some people might be long. Now, when you have an interview, that interview can range from 20 minutes to an hour and a half. It all depends on the guest, the time allotted. We even sometimes split these interview episodes over 2 episodes because it's quite lengthy and it's important subject matter, or the conversation will actually relate to 2 kind of aspects of the interviewer's life or views. And I was thinking to myself that we can do a long form episode which would pop up every now and again, or every other episode. It would still form the series number run. For example, I don't know, so let's say a normal episode is an interview or an interview mention, a forthcoming interview and details of where I am in Korea. That could be episode 36, and then potentially 37 could be one of these shorter ones. And what these are something we're going to call the Not So Long Korean podcast. Instead of the Not So Korean podcast, but it is still the Not So Korean podcast. It's just a shorter version in which I will talk about, and perhaps other people talk about, certain aspects or experiences in Korea. So there'll be more short form, but they will, as I say, talk about certain aspects of Korea. And just to give you an example, it might be experience of purchasing a phone in Korea, in South Korea, or the experience of service, or servisu as people will know, or perhaps the cafe culture in Korea, and also safety or fashion. And these kind of episodes would be generally shorter, and therefore perhaps wouldn't be the kind of episodes we've done before, which can be anything from, as I say, 20 minutes, 30 minutes to an hour, 2 hours. And they would also require less editing from my point of view, which means they could also be put out pretty regularly, which means there wouldn't be such a big gap between these sort of fuller, longer episodes that we've been doing from the start. And so that is why I wanted to record this, because we were not changing the series at all in the fact that the episodes are going to stay the same. We're not starting another separate podcast, but you may see, or rather hear or see, if you're viewing on our YouTube platforms. There's 2 YouTube channels. One is, you can find it under the Not So Korean podcast. That's only relatively new in the scheme of things, whereas everything else, or the episodes and other Korean related stuff, can be found on my channel, which is Jason Verney, or Jason K-Town Verney. That name might change, but it is YouTube/Jason Verney. So you can view them, but often it would be just the audio that you're viewing. Sometimes there will be some photos interspersed with that, or there'll be the actual interview itself, perhaps a Zoom call or what have you, recorded. So yeah, this is not going to change the podcast series in that respect, because things are going to continue. It just means that in between those longer episodes, as I said, we would also have these other ones, which I find are more kind of informative, perhaps humorous, and, well, mainly factual, but at the same time, you know, they're nice sort of bite-sized episodes where I can speak about, or as I say, somebody else speak about a certain thing, a certain experience that's happened or that is happening. It could be from a live event as well. It could be something like that. So these kind of episodes will be a sort of breakwater, or a break between the normal ones. And at the same time, as I say, that would enable the podcast to be as regular as I can do it, without having to have like a month's gap between episodes, which is not the way we started, but it started to go that way. Sometimes it's even been several weeks or 2 months between episodes, and I would like to get back to the regularity of having the episodes. It's good for me and it's good for the listener, in my opinion. So that was it. I just wanted to give you a little introduction to what this NoSoLOKoPo would be, and we may be taking it in this direction, as well as the NoSoLOKoPo standard. So I hope you enjoy that sort of direction, and this was just a little episode to explain, and I hope you're all doing well. Okay, 안녕히 계세요. Well, we hope you enjoyed that episode. So that's all from us. 안녕히 계세요.